thought I would make this kind of video, and I've been debating on what I want to do with it. But tonight at 6:30 we have to put my little sweet Gemma down, so that's why I'm outside with her. She got really sick, there's cancer in her mouth, and just now over the weekend isn't eating, drinking, having a hard time breathing. Tonight's the earliest appointment we have. And as I was even trying to prepare myself for this, I was looking up videos on like euthanasia and just like what to expect. So I thought that I would make my own video too, because it was actually really helpful for me to see people go through it, especially when you have people that don't really understand pets, or like, I don't know, they'll say it's just a cat, but it's not just a cat, because they've been with you for, in this case, 12 years for me. I got her when I was 15. So, this is her last day. Big baby. Now you're gonna run in 2 seconds. I just watched back the video that I tried to film yesterday when I was outside with Gemma. I was talking so softly because the neighbors were outside and they have dogs, and I was just trying not to scare Gemma and bring much attention to myself. And I wanted to tell the neighbor, hey, like, can you give us some time because we have to say goodbye? But I couldn't even say anything. My eyes are probably so swollen and puffy. I have cried more in the last 48 hours than I think I've ever cried before. But still, I wanted to make this video because Gemma started having some health issues over the last couple of months, just some things we were noticing. So when my mom finally was able to take her to the vet, which even because of the COVID scheduling and everything, it's like you have to schedule out so far in advance, and then my mom ended up getting COVID, so then I had to keep furthering out the appointment. When they finally saw her, they thought it was just some bad teeth that needed to be pulled. So went ahead with that surgery. I think that was in April, and actually the original vet would not have even been able to do the surgery until June, I think, because just everything was like so backtracked. So my mom found another vet of a friend, and they did the surgery. That was when they found what they suspected to be a tumor in her mouth, which I guess this is a pretty common tumor for cats, and it's very aggressive. The only way to get rid of it is to basically like remove the jaw, which would have just been terrible and expensive, and it's still not even guaranteed after that they'll live for much longer or anything. I got her when I was about 15 or 16. I think it was 2009, so she's about 12 or 13, which to me is not nearly long enough. I know some cats live until they're 25. Everything about it was just so terrible. About a month ago, we were really just praying. I was literally breaking everything all the time. I don't even know what room that is in for what sound that would have made. It's so funny thinking about how different these personalities are of these two cats because they are just worlds apart. So I guess over the last couple of months I had just been really trying to process it and prepare myself, and then a month ago, that's where I was at. We were just gonna believe for a miracle for her. My husband started it because he, one night, whenever I thought we were gonna have to put her down, this was about a month and a half ago, he started praying for healing for her, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. So then I started praying for healing and believing for healing, and she was doing so much better. And then just this past weekend, she had a turn because she stopped eating and drinking. The tumor was probably growing and like affecting her throat, so she couldn't really keep anything down, and she was so hungry she would come in the kitchen and just meow, and like any time you would put something in front of her she wouldn't eat. It was just affecting her breathing. It was terrible to even just like watch her breathe. You could just like see her ribs. She just lost so much weight so fast, and she was really doing so good even last week. So we had to let her go, and I still don't want to. I had a dream about her Monday morning. It felt so real. I was trying to figure out if I had just imagined it, but I had really been praying about her healing, but also just to know what to do, because I think what's hard whenever you have a sick pet is when they have good days, you sometimes forget, or you're not counting how many bad days versus good days. And this was all something I learned whenever I was looking up euthanasia and just what to expect. And I was looking up all these different videos on YouTube with people talking about their experience, or vet techs talking, and I watched a TED talk on it, and it was so helpful to me, even though I sobbed the entire time watching it. That's why I thought I would just talk about this, because I think the hard thing is if people don't have pets and don't have animals, they will never understand this. This is like a part of you. This is a part of you for a decade or more of your life, and it's terrible to watch them go through it. So in my dream on Monday, I woke up, I was walking upstairs into, it was like a combination of my childhood bedroom, where most of my YouTube videos were filmed, and the bedroom at my mom's house. And so these are the two houses that Gemma lived in, apart from an apartment for a year or so. She was laying on the bed all sprawled out. I went up to her. I said, Gemma, I didn't even see you there, because there was this black velvety blanket that was also on the bed. She was cuddling with it. I said, Gemma, I didn't even see you there. We've been struggling so much. We don't know what to do, if we should put you down or not. And she started talking to me, and she just said, it's a great idea. Yes, I'm ready. And I was shocked, not that she was talking to me, but that she thought it was a great idea. And so I just said, are you sure? Are you sure? And she said, yeah, I'm ready. It's time. I had such a good life. Like, my purpose here was served. Which still doesn't make it easier, because I just wish that wasn't the answer that I got. But I was texting a couple of friends that have been through this. It's always reassuring to talk to people that have been through a similar situation. And I know so many people have to put their pets down. This is definitely my first-hand experience with, like, my baby, because I've had cats over the years, and I grew up with a dog, but this was like my baby. She would wake me up every morning and just be like cuddling and purring in my face, and I think that's just what's so crazy, even because of the differences between Gemma and Koa, who he's crazy, and she was just so sweet all the time. She would just always be cuddling with me, and like, he's so much more playful. And even that, I felt such guilt for a long time, because I've had him for 2 years, and my mom has had Gemma for about the last 3 years since I moved out and in with my husband. And there were a couple of factors. I mean, just her age in general. She was happy at my mom's. I didn't want to disrupt her too much moving her. And then we also travel a decent amount for work, so anytime we even travel, we bring Koa over to my mom's, so that just would have been a lot for her with back and forth. And then, of course, my mom and brother loved her and didn't want to give her up either. So then when Koa came into the picture, it was total accidental, because we really were not allowed to have any animals in the apartment here, but there was a litter of 5 kittens that was living on the porch on the street corner, and I could not help myself. So we basically rescued them. One of my friends took one, gave 3, and then we found the mom to someone that fosters, and then she found homes for them, and then could not let go of Koa. And it was funny, because every person that came over that wanted to get a kitten wanted him, and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't give him up. And at that point, we couldn't keep him. I was like, I'm gonna make my mom take him, because I can't give him up. It's just crazy, because even right now, I'm like, you're not Gemma. But he's really my husband and I's baby compared to Gemma. That was mine. I got her little paw prints on ink, which was not what I was expecting. I think these 2 are the ones I tried. The vet tech was like, yeah, I can help you with that. And she did it afterwards. After she left the room, I was like, I'm gonna get a better one. And I was like, no, that's actually really difficult, because she has like fluffy paws. Anyways, I guess the experience at the vet, the worst part was having her in the carrier in the car. Because of the COVID protocols, we couldn't go in right away, so we had to wait in the car until they came to get us. And it was like 20-ish minutes, which is a long time for a cat to be in a carrier in a car. So she just kept crying, and I'm like, Gemma, it's gonna be okay. But I'm like, it's not gonna be okay. So then when we went in, we were very nice. I opened the top of the carrier for her, and she was just like peeking her head out, but then she was just like rolling around on the inside and trying to purr. She couldn't even really purr because of the breathing, which like this cat would purr if you looked at her. So that's another indicator of how bad it was. She was rolling around. I was just petting her, and then I brought her onto my lap whenever the second vet tech came in, and they explained everything beforehand, the series of 2 shots and what happens during each one. And so when they finally came in for the first shot, she was in my lap, and they said, okay, whenever you're ready, you can put her up on the table. And I was thinking, like, I'm not gonna be ready. She ended up just like jumping up on the table, and we were like, okay, guess she's ready. But of course then whenever she realized what they were trying to do, she like tried to scurry back. And right after they gave her the first one, put her in my lap, and then she just like got super relaxed, and then they put her back up, and they had her facing me, and that was when they did it. And it was super fast, and I guess like the most peaceful that it could be. I've heard it's really painful to let a pet die at home, especially if they're in pain, and we obviously don't know. I wanted to record while I was in there, and I thought about it, but at the same time it was like, I don't want to try to figure out where I can set my phone and not fall over, and like the vet techs get, you know, nervous about why I was recording or whatever. My mom and I were in there. They only allowed 2 people in, which I'm happy they at least allowed anybody in. We just held each other, and we cried, and we just thanked her and thanked God that we got her. So yeah. It's terrible. It's so terrible. I can't even begin to explain. It's like there's just a piece of my heart that's gone. And I know it's a cat. Like, it seems so ridiculous even in my mind, but even when I think about what she was there for me for, I mean, when just those last couple of videos I've shared about the last 10 years of craziness from when I was 15, that was when I got her, and she was there for all of it, all the highs, all the lows, and she was just the sweetest little friend that I could ever imagine or have. Now I have Crazy Koa, who's a totally different character, which sometimes is also good and necessary, and I just think it could speak to the season. Like, that was the season I needed that type of comfort, and this is the season I need a crazy animal like this. When he was a kitten, he was so malnourished. He was barely 3 pounds whenever they were outside. He was the smallest one, and he would just sleep. Like, he did not move. He just slept, and would, every time I walk into the room, he would just come into my lap and fall asleep, and I was like, I need him. And then my mom took him for a week, and she's sending me videos of him running back and forth, and I'm like, what did you do to him? And now he's insane. I just thought I would share this because, like I said, it's so hard, it's so terrible. I have always dreaded this. Anthony, my husband, has always said he's dreaded this day since the moment we met, because he knew how just in love with her I was. I really wanted another 10 years for her, for my mom to have her, because my mom, of course, has grown so attached to her. I slept over my mom's house the night before, which was just last night. It feels like a no, 2 nights ago. She slept with me all night, which isn't even good because she wasn't getting up and like going and get water or food or anything. Usually she would be up and down, but she was just next to me all night. I got to take her outside, and she loves trying to eat grass and just sitting in the sun, so it was as peaceful as it could be. We actually were scheduled to have it done today, but we moved it up just because of how fast she was declining. And I'm happier, I guess, that it was yesterday because it was sunny and today is rainy. But man, if you've experienced this, you know what it's like. It's terrible. I'm so sorry. Every time I think that I'm done crying, I just keep sobbing. like I've never cried before. So be nice to people that have just lost a pet. It's not just a pet. It's definitely family. I don't know if I regret now that I didn't record being in there yesterday. My one thing I was going to take a picture of and I didn't because I thought it was weird is when I was like walking out, and it's of course you go in with a carrier with an animal in it and then you leave with an empty one. And I just looked back at the table and it's just like, I don't want to leave you. Like, it's just so sad to have to leave them there, because the way that it worked at this place is there's just like a back door that you can leave, so they basically just give you as much time as you want and say you can leave whenever, so then you just leave her in there. And almost wish I took a photo of it just to like keep reminding myself that it was real, because as I've even just been looking at photos and videos of her last night and this morning, it's like not real, and then it becomes real, and then I start sobbing again. It helps me to talk about it. I think that's why I'm talking about it. Ugh, it's so terrible. I hope you are having a better week than I am. Ugh, I know that I'll get through it. I know it's not the worst thing that could happen. Man, oh man, is it sad. Thanks for watching if you made it this far.
Gemma, please take it downstairs, please. Oh my goodness.